a $10 million bounty. The same price tag once placed on Osama bin Laden's head. And right now, the internet is exploding with footage so disturbing that even seasoned cartel watchers are turning away. His name is Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, but the world knows him as El Mencho, the ghost who commands the deadliest cartel on Earth. New murder footage has surfaced, and what it reveals will change everything you thought you knew about modern cartels. Who is El Mencho? Before we talk about the footage that's gone viral, you need to understand who we're dealing with. El Mencho isn't just any criminal, he's the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, known as CJNG. This organization has become one of the most powerful and violent drug trafficking groups in Mexico, and honestly in the entire world. Born in 1966 in Michoacán, Mexico. El Mencho started from humble beginnings. He actually lived in the United States for a while, working regular jobs in California. But eventually he got involved in the drug trade and was even arrested in the 1990s. After serving time, he was deported back to Mexico. And that's where things really took a dark turn. Back in Mexico, El Mencho didn't just join the drug trade, he transformed it. In the early 2000s, he formed the CJNG, and they quickly became known for something terrifying: extreme violence. The $10 million man. The US government is so desperate to catch him that they're offering a $10 million reward. Yes, you heard that right, $10 million for information leading to his arrest. That's the same amount they offered for Osama bin Laden. That should tell you everything you need to know about how dangerous this man is considered to be. The CJNG isn't like traditional organized crime groups. They use tactics that are designed to terrorize, to make people so afraid that they won't cooperate with authorities or rival groups. They've attacked government officials, ambushed police convoys, and even shot down military helicopters. Yes, you heard that correctly, helicopters. They're also known for something particularly disturbing. They document their violence and share it online. The footage that shocked the world. There are some crimes so horrifying, so brazenly orchestrated, that they were never meant for public eyes, yet still end up online. What happened on a quiet back road in Michoacán should have been another ghost crime by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Quick, brutal, buried. But instead it exploded across the internet like a firebomb. 6 dismembered bodies, all of them teenage girls, dumped in the middle of a village marketplace. And then came the footage, grainy, uncut, filmed on a cell phone by a cartel soldier and somehow leaked. The girls were kneeling, their faces swollen. Some had their school uniforms on. This wasn't just another message from El Mencho. It was a ritual execution, and it was broadcast like a snuff film. The footage spread faster than any cartel video in recent memory. Reddit, Telegram, TikTok, even clips on X, reached 4 million views in a day. The execution video, a chilling reality. There is something uniquely horrifying about watching someone walk into their death while believing they might be spared. That's what makes the latest CJNG murder clip so disturbing. 3 girls visibly shivering. One of them blurts out, "Somos inocentes, we are innocent." 2 cartel men off camera reply, "We'll see." According to Mexican digital forensic site Contraloría, the leaked video originated from a CJNG training camp in Aguililla, Michoacán. That's just 45 minutes outside where the next FIFA World Cup match will be played. A global symbol of peace and unity standing dangerously close to the most terrifying terror site in Mexico. They call it El Rancho del Silencio. Locals call it the Auschwitz of Michoacán, the cartel boot camp for child soldiers. The name comes from something found in the dirt shoes. Hundreds of them buried in rows. At first, reporters thought they'd found a mass grave. But insiders now say what they uncovered was something far worse. A cartel boot camp for child soldiers. In a chilling interview, Johnny Mitchell, a podcaster and former cartel associate, revealed how CJNG recruiters target 16-year-olds on TikTok. They always have to train up new people, okay? They're always training up new recruits. And these are like 16-year-olds usually, okay? Who they recruit on TikTok. That's how these girls ended up there. Lured with promises of money, prestige. Some were allegedly told they'd be working in hospital logistics for CJNG, a euphemism for call centers used to track enemies via fake emergency hotlines. Then they were stripped, their phones taken, their bodies cataloged and tested. They drug test everybody, Mitchell says. They take DNA samples like you're applying for Goldman Sachs. This isn't street-level crime anymore. This is corporate warfare. Mexican style. The American connection. One of the reasons the footage went so viral. The presence of an alleged American voice in the background of the execution video. It was barely audible, blurred under the sounds of a drone. But users online swear they heard a gringo accent saying, "Confirm she's the informant. Finish the loop." And just like that, the internet caught fire with a horrifying theory the girls were mistakenly killed because one of them was suspected of leaking cartel drone data to the DEA. This claim hasn't been confirmed, but it lines up disturbingly well with what CJNG operatives have confessed to in interviews. This is modern warfare. We use war technologies. We use drones. In a chilling coincidence, 2 DEA agents in Mexico were reassigned just days after the video leak. No statement was given. No reason was explained. Is El Mencho still alive? Let's back up. Why does it matter if he's still alive? El Mencho himself hasn't been seen publicly in years. There are constant rumors about his health, his whereabouts, and even whether he's still alive. Some people think he might have diabetes or kidney problems. In 2021, reports emerged that El Mencho had died from kidney failure. Others said he'd faked his death to live out his life on a private estate somewhere in Guatemala. But then something strange happened. Weeks after the execution video went viral, a private encrypted message was sent to reporters in Jalisco. The message read, "We do not target innocents. This was justice." The command came from the top, and it was signed NOC, the same initials used by Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes. Here's what a high-level drug distributor once closely tied to El Chapo said. "No, I believe that he's still alive. I think that those conflicted reports are just because he's been suffering from some sickness. And just me understanding that world, I do believe that if he would have passed, his son probably would have cooperated and tried to save his own ass. That's the key. If El Mencho were dead, his son El Mencho would likely flip to secure immunity or protection. But that hasn't happened. The military precision of modern cartels, the brutality of CJNG isn't new. But what's different now is the precision. These killings aren't random. They're not done out of rage. They're executed with military efficiency. According to a Proceso investigation, Mexican military police seized a set of training materials from a CJNG compound in Guerrero earlier this year. Inside were printed guides, diagrams, and most disturbingly, video modules labeled "How to Instill Fear." Each tape depicted different types of executions: public, private, symbolic, quick kills, drawn-out ones. It wasn't random. Each had a purpose. One section of the guide reportedly categorized civilians into threat tiers. Tier 1 included rival cartel members. Tier 2, community leaders, social media influencers, journalists. And Tier 3, teenagers with reach. Why? Because a teenage TikTok star with 100,000 followers represents a risk if they mock CJNG, the disappeared influencers. Several influencers have already vanished. Some rumored to have been abducted from malls in Guadalajara and Zapopan. Their bodies never recovered. Their last posts all disappeared, but one of them, 17-year-old Marisol B., who vanished after uploading a skit about Mencho hiding in a hospital, left behind a chilling voice note sent to her cousin. They said, "I need to come to a meeting. I didn't even tag them. I swear I didn't mean anything. Tell Mama I'll be home by 9. She never came home." This wasn't just about silencing critics. This was about sending a message to an entire generation. Mock us, and you disappear. The propaganda department. Journalists at Insight Crime recently obtained encrypted chat logs from an internal CJNG Telegram group. The contents show the cartel isn't just punishing dissent, they're recruiting media managers. This isn't gangsterism. This is a full-blown propaganda department. And they've gotten so advanced they even create decoy videos showing members helping old ladies with groceries or handing out toys, using them to crowd out the brutality in search algorithms. Remember when the Taliban got verified on Twitter? CJNG has influencer coordinators, and one of them, known online only as Babe PR, was just exposed by an independent security researcher on X for running a cartel-funded YouTube Shorts channel. This is psychological warfare in the digital age. Weaponized technology. CJNG's evolution into a digital war machine didn't happen overnight. It began with drones. This is modern warfare. We use war technologies. We use drones. These drones, first used for surveillance, are now weaponized. According to Vice News reports, CJNG has outfitted quadcopters with homemade bombs rigged with smartphone timers and facial recognition apps. But the drones are just part of it. They also test recruits on camera. One source interviewed by journalist Yoan Grillo said that part of CJNG's vetting involves uploading fake scenarios on TikTok and gauging who engages, shares, or comments. It's a form of algorithmic loyalty testing. Female soldiers. A new frontier. In the older narco world, women were mostly used for logistics, laundering, or relationships. That's changed. CJNG has now opened the door to female soldiers, but not voluntarily. A 2023 investigation by Milenio revealed that young women are now forced into roles ranging from tech support to bait. Some are trained in firearm assembly, others in interrogation, and some are trained in silent filming, that is, how to record executions without breathing, moving, or interrupting. They're forced to hold the camera, watch, film, then edit. If they flinch, they're next. One former associate described it as death by internship. The work is unpaid, the risks terminal, and when they're no longer useful, they disappear just like the 6 girls in Michoacán. The global impact. The cartel operates across Mexico but has its stronghold in Jalisco state, which is where the name comes from. However, their reach extends far beyond Mexico. They have operations in the United States, Europe, Asia, and Australia. They traffic drugs, primarily methamphetamine, cocaine, and fentanyl across the globe. And that last one? Fentanyl. That's particularly important for those of us in the United States. The opioid crisis that's devastating communities across America? The CJNG is one of the major suppliers of fentanyl coming across the southern border. This isn't just a Mexican problem. This affects all of us. A strategy, not just violence. You might think this is just another cartel horror story. It's not, because for the first time, a Mexican cartel is weaponizing the same tools used by influencers, marketers, and political campaigns. They know how to control perception. They know how to trend. They know how to disappear news cycles. And the murders? They're not just for power. They're for likes. Every bullet, every video, every dead girl, it's part of a strategy. Not to destroy the government, but to replace it in the minds of people too scared to question authority and too exhausted to hope for help. If CJNG is this advanced now, what will they look like by 2026? The ghost general and the governments that helped him continue to operate in the shadows, while the truth becomes harder and harder to hide.